Hi, welcome back to I Confess with Travis. I am your host, Travis Bartlett, and today I'm going to be talking to a guy who likes to dress up in feminine clothes or female, or you know what, just say girl clothes, for example, because I have what you call a speech problem, because I have problems pronouncing words, so I'm not going to let that bother me. He's going to talk about how he first came out. His girlfriend decided to make him wear, girl clothes. Basically going to start telling me his story about how he is willing to accept his life for who he is. All right, let me go ahead and take my first call. Okay, so how are you doing?
Good, how about you?
Doing good. So I hear you have a story for us you want to tell.
Sure. It's about, well, me, I guess. But, my name is, Max. You can call me Max.
I actually like that name, Max.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, it's not very common where I live.
Yeah. I mean, I really do like it. Yeah.
But, well, I guess to just get right into it, you don't really know a lot about yourself until you expose yourself to other people. And
right.
For me, that was like my girlfriend. We were talking about more feminine things and stuff like that, and I know you said you wouldn't have any video, but you could see the way I am dressed now, like
right,
feminine, and there is a story behind that. And so she was talking to me about how in the past she liked more feminine guys and stuff like that, and she didn't really like any of the masculine guys. And that's why she picked me, because I was not very masculine.
Wow.
Honestly. But I didn't start dressing femininely until I met her, until she introduced me to this kind of thing. So where it started was at a mall, an American Eagle, I think that's what it's called, clothing brand. And I picked out a dress that I liked, and I tried it on in the fitting room, and she went in there with me. And as soon as I tried it on and I stood up, and she looked at me and she just said, "You're very pretty." And I just felt, something in my heart. It just kind of felt warm all over, and
like a warm feeling.
Yeah. And so from then on, I started cross-dressing, when I came home or whatever. And sometimes I'd go out in public cross-dress, but not all the time, just to keep safe, because I live in the South, and I'm in the more safer place of my state, but it's still the South. There's still a chance, I could be harassed, bullied, or whatever. Right. So I never go alone when I cross-dressed.
Well, see, this podcast is more like a safe space, so you can, tell your stories or secrets. You don't have to, be ashamed.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm trying to help other people. Let's say like people with disabilities. They could be telling the stories about how, let's say, they might have, let's say, one arm, and then they try to learn on how to, do things with just that one arm,
Yeah. Yeah.
Or people that have autism, or, people doing, let's say, a coming out story, That's basically what this podcast is,
Yeah.
Just to help people.
We always need more of that.
Yes.
Yeah, we always need more of that, I think, more inclusivity like that. Because, the moment we stop advocating for this kind of thing and just accept things how they are.
Exactly. You got to accept them for who they are. Just most people, because like sometimes people might get embarrassed. They'll be like, well, I don't know if I should, or, I'm not saying you should go out and do it. You should just maybe like, feel more comfortable in your own skin is what you should say, instead of being embarrassed about things like that. Like, let's just say, like, if you came out of the closet and you're like, how some kids might think, like, if I tell my friends, they might think it's okay, but then you might think your parents may or may not accept you because you recently just came out gay, because you're thinking, like, what if I told my mom or my dad, and then let's just say, like, your dad says that he doesn't want to support you, or your mom doesn't want to support you, or one of the other will support. You have to find someone who is there to support you no matter what. Even if even if they made that child, they still should support that child no matter what,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of the parent's duty.
Yeah.
It's not really a privilege or...
Right. It's not like a choice or anything. It's just, it just happens.
Yeah. But, yeah, I grew up in a very loving household. Of course, it did have its problems, but it was, in my state, it's very common to come across people with only one parent.
Right.
It's usually the mom.
Right.
I had both parents, and they were very accepting of who I was. And my mother even shaved my legs before going out to a pride event.
Oh, wow.
Before I went out into in a cross-dressed to a pride event. And I haven't missed a pride event yet. For 3 years now, I've always gone to a pride event here. That always happens every year. So that's very good to see. A lot of people like me, and
for liking you for who you are, and trying to help you. Know, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but back to the reason why I started all this, my story or whatever. Excuse me. So there was, of course, the question came up, like, am I considering being trans or whatever? And I just decided, I'm at peace with myself.
Right.
And how I was made or whatever, and how I was born. So I think, I still identify as a male, and I just like more feminine things, and there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think.
No, because see, I was watching this one YouTuber. You might know him, James Charles. He's he's a makeup guru. He does like a lot of feminine girl things, basically. Like, just does makeup all over his YouTube channel. And dresses like in women's clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah. And it's really good to see, even like, RuPaul Drag Race, it's like a...
I've never seen the show. I've never seen it. I mean, I keep telling myself I want to, but I'm just not sure how it's gonna go.
Starting something is hardest.
It is.
Because you don't know what kind of commitment you're making, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah. And, fast forward a couple of years, and I start coming into my own instead of, going off of what my girlfriend recommends me. I start buying my own clothes. And now I'm here sitting with the outfit I have on.
Yeah.
Although this particular style is called a femboy.
Oh, okay. I
don't know if you know about that.
But on and off. I don't know. I've heard so much that goes on around the world, but there's one question. Did you ever like start out straight when your girlfriend made you wear like women clothes, or that's when you became like I would say trans, a cross-dresser?
Well, I knew I was bisexual
from day one. Okay.
From even before I met her. I just never got a chance to date a guy, so I was still kind of questioning, but you know. And and to your other question, what was your other question?
I said well, since you told me you were bi, I said did you ever start out straight? But that's when you told me you were bi. But I said, did you like ever started wearing like men's clothes before your girlfriend started having you wear like girl clothes? Before you became like a cross dresser kind of way?
Yeah, I wore just regular men clothes, masculine clothes. But the reason why my girlfriend chose me was because I acted
more like a girl kind of way.
Yeah, more feminine.
Yeah.
Say, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a term for men that are, you know, caring or whatever and don't act overly masculine all the time.
Yeah, they're like, yeah.
Soft boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard of those, yeah.
But yeah. Well, that's pretty much all all about that specific part of my life.
Well, I really liked your story. I really like how you know, changed your life, you know, for who you are, which is, you know, okay. And, you know, and I hope, you know, people who hear this story might, you know, like the story and might one day become like you one day. You know, men might start dressing in women's clothes and start acting like feminine, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to dress, you know, look different. I mean, see, I've never wore any women's clothes before, and I've never made out with a man because, you know, I'm straight. And see, you know, like, I don't have problems with people in the LGBTQ because I have a few friends that are gay, so that's what and even if they're gay, I just say, like, hey, you know, it's their business, let them do whatever they want, you know, it's, well, I mean, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's a choice, but you know what I'm saying. Like, let them be who they are, you know?
Right. Because there's a lot of people elsewhere that saying that you can't do that.
Yeah, and you gotta watch out because like, I've noticed that there was a lot of straight men that are like faking. Well, I wouldn't say faking, but they're like a lot of straight men that are pretending to be gay, but they're actually want to say that they're straight, you know, and you got to kind of watch out for that, you know, because, like, I don't know if okay, like, do you know who P. Diddy is, the rapper?
No, I haven't heard.
Oh, okay, well, anyway, I used to hear his songs when I was a kid and teenager, but then what happened was he was tricking people into like doing gay things without him knowing that he was gay, and he got exposed about it. I mean, everybody was all over TikTok and YouTube saying that he was basically trying to make out with all these like celebrities like Chris Brown, LL Cool J, Jay-Z, you know, and then, you know, calling out people, making them say things like, well, you know, making them do and say weird things and stuff like that. I mean, it's just crazy how you hear the stories. Like, and then it's like he'll say things like, hey, like, let me take you shopping, kind of like a gay thing. But instead of like going shopping, it's more like just kind of, you know, getting down and, you know, busy kind of way. Like, people are starting to figure it out, you know, like, oh yeah, let me just take you shopping, but, you know,
do something else.
Yeah, everybody's figured it out. They said that he's made out with a couple celebrities, but they just never even said anything, you know, like, until they exposed him. I mean, like I said, like, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's a bad thing for you to come out gay, but it's just, I think it's just harder for people to, like, you know, like, understand, like, okay, like, you know that, like, I don't know if you've seen this movie called Love, Simon.
No, I actually haven't.
It's actually good. Yeah, it's a good. It talks about this kid who's who coming out of the closet, it's like this biggest secret of him coming out gay, but he's never told the whole school or his parents that he was gay. And then he started, talking to this guy that was supposed to be anonymous, but didn't realize he was talking to the same best friend, which kind of like threw him off. And they didn't know about it until they got into the carnival. Or yeah, it was a carnival. They were going to ride the Ferris wheel together, and they kind of found out that they were both gay this entire time. It's actually a really good movie. And then there's a series based on Love, Simon. It's called Love, Victor, where the kid basically, was afraid to tell his parents that he was gay, and, in the schools. And, but everybody started to accepting him for, who they were, Yeah. And I really love that. I really love the movie and the series. I wish they would continue, but they only did like 3 seasons on Hulu.
Love, Simon came out in 2018, it looks like.
Yeah, it's a good movie. And then Love, Victor is based on this movie too,
Oh. Looks like it got a pretty good rating on
it is. It's really good. It's really good.
I'll have to give that a watch soon.
Yes. And the only thing I could tell you I've learned from that movie and shows is that you should not be ashamed for who you are, is basically what I've learned. Don't get me wrong. See, I'm not gay. Like I said, I'm straight. But see, that show was so emotional. That show was so good. I wish I could I could just watch it again if I wanted to. That's how good that show is.
Well, that's good. It's always good to get, exposure to things, even if you don't particularly understand it.
Yeah. And sometimes it might embarrass you, sometimes. You just gotta, kind of work with it,
Yeah. And at present, there's a lot of people that are just denying things.
They just don't want to support the LGBTQ. That's right, yeah.
Yeah, because they don't fully understand something.
Because I remember, I don't know if you've ever watched the news, but I don't really watch TV that much. But there was something all over the news. They said they passed a gay bill right for people with the same sex are allowed to date whoever they want. And I thought, well, at least they're doing something, because they said there was one of the governments that said that he was, I don't know if he was either gay or if he had friends that was gay. I don't know. But they said that he decided to pass a bill by making it seem like people of the same sex should, get married, have sex, do whatever, make them more comfortable. Everybody started cheering about it. And I was like, well, at least that, they're letting us do something instead of just taking away the gay rights,
Yeah. And I know there's probably going to be a lot of...
There's going to be a lot of people are going to be hating.
Yeah, and saying things along the lines of, oh, we focus on this topic way too much, why talk about it? And the answer to that is, over in the past hundreds of years, the gay people, lesbian or whatever, they've always had less rights than straight people.
Right.
And that's why it should be talked about.
Because, I remember, I used to watch movies, watch people in real life, talk about their stories and TV shows. There are, stories behind these things. And they'll say things like, oh, well, my dad doesn't support me because, I came out gay, or my mom, was there for me, my, this and this and this. And then there's also women who don't even want to support the LGBTQ. And then there's, men out there who actually want to support, people that are gay, Yeah.
But
I just gotta say this. I feel like we're living in a crazy world right now,
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And you got to kind of, yeah, watch out for stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of people nowadays are actually coming out of the closet now.
Yeah, and because if they know if they do, there'll be more of, people realize, oh, they're everywhere.
Yeah. Right.
And yeah. But anyway.
Well, thank you so much for
about that time yet?
Huh? No, not yet.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for being on my podcast. I hope this actually helped you out. I know it's going to probably help a lot of people out. Anyway, on that note, I guess I'll go ahead and let you go and move on to my next call.
Alrighty, thank you.
All right, no problem. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I really like this one because, the guy was telling me a story about how he was, I wouldn't say he was embarrassed, he was not really ashamed. This guy was telling me a story about how his girlfriend made him wear, girl clothes, feminine clothes. He was actually okay with it, and now he's over here actually, not afraid to go out in public wearing, girl clothes. And there's some people out there that, are ashamed of doing stuff like that. I know I've never did that in person. I've never made out with anybody. I've never, dressed, in different genders, and because there's a lot of people out there that are willing to think, let's say, like, if a boy was to be born, then they'll think, like, oh, well, maybe I should just turn myself into a girl. Because, there's some people out there that think, gays are more important, basically. Because, they're important into our world, their lives, and, you got to at least accept that. I mean, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's a choice. But hey, if you want to come out of the closet, hey, go for it. It's up to you. It's not my decision. The guy was really nice and honest to tell me about his life, about how he changed from, bi to cross-dresser. And I would actually accept that for who he is. I'm not going to change him for the better. He was, not ashamed to tell his story. He was really honest. He, kept like a straight face, just trying to like let people know and say like, hey, like this is me, this is who I am, this is how I dress, stuff like that. And, don't be ashamed to, say anything that might hurt you or hurt, or might hurt other people just because of the way they look. Just accept them for who they are. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be right back, and we will take my next call. All right, welcome back to I Confess with Travis. And today I'm going to be making my second caller. I'm going to be talking to two girls who were basically in a dangerous accident and ended up losing a hand. So let's go ahead and hear their stories right now. So hey, how y'all guys doing?
We're doing good.
Good. So y'all got stories y'all want to tell?
Yup.
All right, go ahead.
What story we telling? Oh, we're telling a nub story. Okay. So basically, you started off. This is a good enough story. Yeah, it's a very good story. Okay. Well, basically, the story takes start on Thanksgiving evening.
Okay.
Of last year. Yeah, last year, and it was me and my friend here, and we were at my house for Thanksgiving. And you know what a razor is? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So my dad told us like, hey, like everybody hop on, we're about to go drive around in the dirt, So,
mudding.
No, like just in like dry dirt. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So me and my friend, we both hopped on with my brother and my dad and my aunt. and me and my friend are sitting in the back, and we're driving back towards my house, and that's when my dad like turns the razor, and the razor like completely does a 360 and falls like and flips, right?
Oh
and
my
friend,
God.
and my friend had her hand outside of the razor, so when it flipped, she lost her hand. And tell your experience for the part. So basically, I looked over, and like it, like the I don't know if it was like the motion of how like hard we flipped, but we all like passed out, I think, because I don't. They were telling me like too. I don't know. It went black for me at least, and then so then I like woke up, and I look over because it felt like I don't know. It was like burning, and then I looked over, and my hand was like gushing blood, and it was like I could see like it was just mush basically. Do you want to see it? Oh, and then we have this is the product. So that's how you know.
I am so sorry. Did it hurt?
Oh, it kind of hurt. It kind of was like, it was more like I was in shock, so I didn't feel it as much. It just was like really like, it was like burning, but it was cold. Like it just felt numb.
So it's like your hand just felt like it just got chopped off kind of way.
Basically, they like, when I first saw it, I literally thought her like whole hand was completely chopped off, but it was more like, it was like, I don't even know how to explain.
Like broke.
Crushed and like mushy and gushy and bad.
Oh no.
So then they had to airlift her and then amputate that bitch.
Wow.
I hope this is a good story for you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, was it exciting when y'all actually were, you know, in the razor doing 360?
No, it really was not.
So it was kind of scary. It was kind of scary.
When we were flipping, they were laughing when they got up. And because when I got out the razor, I thought everyone was cooling until I like realized that my friend was not out the razor yet.
Oh my God.
So,
that would have been terrifying. I would have had nightmares for like maybe weeks.
I did, bro. And when it happened, I literally just ran. Yeah, she like ran all the way down the road.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah. See ya.
See ya. Okay, so I don't know what to say about this one. I mean, what they described was a terrible accident, but for some reason they ended up, you know, laughing about it because, you know, things that you do from the past might get hurt, and then they always say you can laugh about it in, let's say, like 5 or 10 years. Well, some people might enjoy a good laughter, and some may not. But I'm glad that those two girls are okay, except for the one, because even though on this podcast I will only accept calls and video chats, and they showed me on camera that the girl only had an arm, basically, just like one arm but no hand. And I thought that was just the most insane, crazy story. Like, I wouldn't even know what to say about that. I mean, I know it's terrifying, but I just think that you need to be a lot more careful if you're going to do, like, a lot of dangerous stunts. Like, don't do stuff like that at home or in life, because one day, you know it, you can either kill yourself, you can end up dying, you could either end up in the hospital. I mean, it's bad, but I'm glad that these two girls are actually having a really good, you know, laugh about it, and, you know, just trying to keep their spirits up. But thing is, I'm, you know, But I would never do anything that stupid. I mean, I've never did anything that dangerous before, like doing burnouts in the parking lot, doing donuts in the parking lot. I mean, the only thing I could tell you, I've never did any of that. I mean, other than me going out, to parties, drinking, just having a good time. That's just basically what I did, growing up as a teenager. But I've never did anything that dangerous that might end up having, to lose, let's say, a body part, And sometimes you got to be careful, but I'm just glad that these two girls are actually, are like, laughing about it, just having a good old time. I mean, like, hey, like, sometimes you got to make memories and stuff like that, I mean, sometimes bad memories might turn into, good memories. Anyway, that was a very interesting story. I'm going to go ahead and head off. And if you guys actually want to be on my podcast, text the number 478-901-4445. Talk to you guys next week.